From 2012 to 2013, I was living in Bochum, a modest city in Germany. I was doing a project and also filming something like a city documentary. Why was I filming? Because I'm not the storytelling type of a person, but there were actually many worthy things to tell about. So I decided to use alternative way of telling and sharing with my experience in the modest city of Bochum. Usually, before you travel to some place, what is the first thing you want to know about the place? Well, after the sightseeing and clubbing, of course the background. So I did a little research on the city history and found some facts. Here's a quick review. For the first time, the name Bochum is officially mentioned in a document of the Archbishops of Cologne in 1041. In 1517, a fire devastates the town and its church. 25 coal pits are already registered within the district of Bochum in 1735. In 1850, Jacob Mayer, founder of the steel company Bochumer Verein, invents a steel casting process. In 1904, Bochum acquires its status. It has a population of almost 117,000 in 1905. As further towns and villages are incorporated, the figure rises to 321,000 by 1929. In 1906, 22,844 miners live in Bochum. They produce more than 5 million tons of coal. Adam Opel sets up his first subsidiary plant in Bochum in 1961, providing employment for many of the miners whose jobs were lost through the pit closures. In 1965, Ruhr University Bochum, the first university in Ruhr area, is officially opened. In 1973, the last of the 17 collieries still operating in Bochum after World War II closes down. The Ruhr Stadium is officially opened in 1979. In 1980, Lake Chemnade is open to the public. Bochum becomes a musical city in 1988 when the Starlight Express starts its momentous run. In 1993, the towns of Bochum, Hettingen, Herne and Witten joined together to form the Middle Ruhr region. During the Nazi era, the scenery was the same as in whole Germany. And after the war, like most of German cities, Bochum was destroyed. Bochum was first bombed heavily in May and June 1943. On 13th of May 1943, the city hall was hit. On November 4, 1944, the steel plant Bochumer Verein was hit, one of the largest steel plants in Germany. By the end of the war, 38% of Bochum had been destroyed. 70,000 citizens became homeless and at least 4,095 dead. Most of the remaining buildings were damaged, many with only one usable room. From 90,000 homes, only 1,000 houses in Bochum remained undamaged after the war. Only 2 of 122 schools remained. Hunger was rampant. A resident of neighboring Essen city was quoted on April 23, 1945 as saying,
"Today I used up my last potato. It'll be a difficult time till the new autumn potatoes are ready to be picked, if they're not stolen."
More than 60 years after the war, bombs continue to be found in the region, usually by construction workers. One found in October 2008 in Bochum town center led to the evacuation of 400 and involved hundreds of emergency workers. A month earlier, a buried bomb exploded in neighboring Hattingen, injuring 17 people. In Germany, more than 600 tons of unexploded bombs are discovered every year.
Jetzt kommt das Wirtschaftswunder, jetzt kommt das Wirtschaftswunder. Jetzt gibt's im Laden Carbonaden schon und Räucherflunder.
After the World War II came the era of Wirtschaftswunder, literally economic miracle, which was the era of development of the economies of West Germany after World War II. Beginning with the replacement of the Reichsmark with the Deutsche Mark as legal tender, a lasting period of low inflation and rapid industrial growth was overseen by the government led by German Chancellor Konrad Adenauer and his Minister of Economics Ludwig Heinrich Erhard, who went down in history as the father of the German economic miracle. Large-scale migration of Turkish citizens to West Germany developed during the economic miracle in the 1960s and 1970s. West Germany suffered an acute labor shortage because of the economic boom. In 1961, the Bundesrepublik and officials at the Turkish Republic negotiated a trade of labor. Turkish workers were invited to move to Germany to fill in this void, particularly the work in the factories to do simple, repetitive tasks. Turkish citizens soon became the largest group of Gastarbeiter, literally guest workers, in West Germany, laboring alongside Italians, Yugoslavs, Spaniards, Greeks, and other immigrants.
Aus Türkei, aus Italien, aus Portugal, Spanien, Griechenland, Jugoslawien, kommen die Menschen hierher. Unsere deutsche Freunde, kommen die Menschen hierher.
The perception at the time on the part of both the West German government and the Turkish Republic representatives was that working in Germany would only be temporary. When industries closed down, many of the immigrants went back to their home countries. Most of the Turkish stayed because of the economic situation in Turkey at that time. After 3 or 4 years, the migrant workers showed considerable signs of distress and were permitted to reunite with their existing and abandoned families. Eventually, many became settled permanent residents by default with the birth of offspring, school, and other obligations in the new lands. Bochum at the time was one of the most industrialized cities in West Germany, mainly coal mining and steel industry. The last colliery was closed down in 1973. Today these mines are museums, but we will talk about them later. In 2016, the Opel subsidiary plant will close down. This plant gave many jobs to people when mines were closed down. In 2008, the Nokia factory closed down. Nokia was the second largest industrial employer after Opel in Ruhr area. Closing of the factory followed the mass protests in Bochum against the decision. The decision was justified by Veli Sandbeck, who leads Nokia Germany's supervisory board, as non-competitive location internationally.